What's up, everybody? It's pt.1 and welcome to my special series called Basic Mastering Using Stock Ableton Effects. In this series, I'm going to show you how to master your own music. This is going to be a three-part video series. Part 1 will be Introduction to Mastering, which is this video. Part 2 will be about building a mastering template. And finally, Part 3 will be mastering by tweaking your template settings. Because this series about mastering takes a lot of work and a lot of information to put together, it wouldn't have been possible without the help of DistroKid. If you don't already know, DistroKid is the easiest and most cost-effective way for musicians, songwriters, producers to get their own original music online to all the popular streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, and all the others, all while letting you keep 100% of your revenue from your music. Subscriptions start as low as $19.99 per year, and it allows you to upload an unlimited amount of songs and albums. For an additional $12 per song, you can even release covers of your favorite songs. Get an additional 7% off your first yearly subscription by using this special promo link, distrokid.com/VIP/pt.1. For more information, or if you're ready to sign up, just follow that link. Now back to mastering. Like I said, this part 1 video is just an intro to help you get mentally prepared for mastering your own music. We won't be diving into Ableton or any software in this video just yet, but stay tuned because we will by part 2. Later in the future, once part 2 is available, I'm going to leave the link right up there just in case you've already seen this video and you want to skip ahead. The thing about mastering music is that it is an art form within itself, and my way might be different from someone else's way. What I'm going to be sharing with you guys in this series is what works for me. But once you created your template in your audio effects rack and have had some experience mastering some of your own music, it gets easier down the road. And when you have a template in an Ableton audio rack, you can reuse it for every new song you do, as opposed to building it from scratch every time you're ready to master a new song. So why would you want to master your own music? We know that every song is mastered to sound its best standing alone. But in dance music and many other popular genres, the goal of mastering is so that your song sounds good when it's mixed or played next to other songs out there. You want the volume to be loud enough without clipping and also consistent, the bass to be nice and pumpy without getting muddy, and all the instruments and vocals to be nice and glued while still sounding vibrant. The best way still to get your music mastered is to summon the services of a mix and mastering engineer. He or she will be more objective since they haven't really been fatigued or attached to your music from working on it as long as you have, because they work regularly on different songs all the time. All that experience they accumulated becomes part of how they decide to treat your track. But we all know that it costs money to hire somebody, especially for every song you make. And if you're a DJ, producer, or mix artist, and you just want to quickly master your song so you can play it in the upcoming weekend at your gig or at your next event, learning to master it yourself can be beneficial so you can save money and time, especially for a track that you may or may not want to release. Also, having your own rough draft of the mastering can help communicate to a mastering engineer what you're trying to accomplish with your track. Some of you guys might ask, what about online mastering bots? You're going to find that there are now several sites with instant mastering services. While they can provide decent results, I haven't really come across convincing results that the algorithm can account for every nuance that a human ear can hear. Like I said, mastering is an art form, and not all decisions are made objectively. At the end of the day, the work of an experienced human being will provide the best results. No two mastering engineers will master the same song exactly the same. Furthermore, the same engineer can master a song differently during different sessions simply based on the differences of his or her moods. There's not one right way to do it, but there are several wrong ways to do it. While you might not sound all that great at first, just remember, practice makes perfect. So what exactly does the title of the series mean? Basic mastering using Ableton Effects. Why are we only using Ableton factory audio effects? Now, usually I use a mastering suite from Isotope called Ozone. And for my limiter, I use a third-party limiter. They're actually plugins that I pull in to use inside Ableton Live. But for this video, I took the challenge of recreating my Ozone workflow and template only using Ableton Live audio effects, the ones that come already in Ableton. Now, I know not everything's gonna be exactly the same as it's laid out in Isotope Ozone, but the way I have my workflow set up, you will still end up with a decent sounding mastered track. A lot of you guys already spent the money on your DAW, and it does get expensive spending more money on additional plugins. But don't worry, I plan to do a video later where I show you guys advanced mastering using Isotope Ozone. But for this series, I'm going to show you guys that you can get a decent sounding mastering chain just using the factory plugins that already come in Ableton Live. So for some of you guys that already done your research, you might say, I want my tracks to sound loud, but sound engineers online warn us about the Loudness War. What's that all about? Now, I'm not a mastering engineer, but what I'm teaching you guys is a simple but comprehensive method that I have used for multiple songs and remixes that I have officially released. Something I actually picked up from Armin van Buuren's masterclass was this. For every song that you're about to master, render at least 2 versions. Make a low dynamic version and a high dynamic version. The low dynamic version is the one with less distance between the quiet parts and the loudest parts. It's usually the one with the most compression and limiting applied. This would naturally be your louder version. This is the version you would probably send off for streaming or the one you play at the club. And also it's the version that you would send off to other DJs to play as well. It's the one for broadcast and just generally everything. Now the high dynamic version is the one with more distance between the quiet parts and the loudest parts. This one, when played back to back with the low dynamic version, would be the one that seemingly sounds quieter. In this version, the compressor and limiter at the end of the chain are just there to tame any large spikes in the volume. But what's awesome about this version is that it's great for playing on super large sound systems. Because the breakdowns will sound quieter, it'll give the audience a break as opposed to being bombarded with consistent volume. This will also give energetic sections like the drop a lot more impact. And that's because it's much louder than the breakdowns. The high dynamic version is the one best for large sound systems, like if you're a DJ who's playing your song at a festival. Now, what kind of hardware do you need? This lesson is based on having a speaker setup, and that means to have a pair of studio monitors and a good listening environment with good acoustics. But listen closely. Do not attempt to master or mix, for that matter, using headphones. Did you hear that? Don't master using headphones. It's best to use a speaker setup. When the drivers are this close to your ears, what you perceive are the dynamics of the music that's playing are way off compared to what is projected by 2 speakers in an acoustic space. Many times, vocals and lead instruments can sound way more defined when you're using headphones, but will sound muffled or buried when played back on speakers. Also, even if you have a really good set of headphones that can hit really low frequencies, the truth is, bass isn't just something you hear, it's something you feel. By just using headphones, you won't actually feel it. You need to have a decent pair of studio monitors. And if you have smaller than an 8-inch pair of studio monitors, you might want to also invest in a subwoofer and set up your desk in a way that is symmetrical and minimizes acoustic reflections. If you want to know more about setting up these things, from your speakers to your desk and how to treat your acoustics, let me know in the comments below. So guys, this was part 1, just the introduction to get you guys mentally prepared for mastering your own music using Ableton Live factory audio effects. In part 2, we're going to build our audio effect rack It's going to serve as our template that we're going to save that we can drop into any song when we're ready to master. So I'll see you guys soon in the next video. If you got any comments, questions, or anything to add about mastering your own music, be sure to leave them in the comments section below. We'd love to hear your thoughts, answer any questions, or learn anything new from you guys that I don't already know. If you like this video, be sure to smash that like button. And if it's your first time here and you found this video useful, be sure to smash that subscribe button and don't forget to click that little bell icon so you get a notification the next time I upload a video. All right, guys, it's Prion Joni. Thanks for watching.